Well, hello, my YouTube friends. Today it is my utter pleasure to present you my newest acquisition, the Enigma from Master SEBBES LARSSON in Sweden. You may not know that maker because he's not amongst the trendy maker that you see everywhere, because he's making very few knives over the years. So you may have passed on this maker, you may not know him. That's why it is for me a real pleasure not only to get one of his knives, but to have the possibility to share my passion of knives and also I was going to say the knowledge, it's a little bit pompous, but to share with you something that you may not know, from a maker that you may not know. It's a phenomenal knife. Now, I'm using here surgical gloves, and as you can see, the package seems to be very simple. So, why am I treating that as if it was a little piece of art or full of mokutai or everything? It's because it's exactly what it is to me. It may look simple like that in this package, but it is, I mean, there is so much refinement in it, and I'm gonna try to convey that throughout this video, and I hope that I'm not gonna mess it, and that I will be able to make you appreciate, as I do, the extreme quality of that man's work. First of all, SEBBES, okay, is living in Sweden, as I told you. He's making everything by hand. Everything. I mean, his hardware, everything is he does it by hand. You see the custom here. I mean, we're gonna review that. Probably not the screw, but that's it. Other than that, everything is done by hand, and he's making, unfortunately, way too few knives. And the past year or so, year and a half, he hasn't even made one knife. So he started again. That's a good news. He started again, and he will make, probably as usual, something like around 10 knives per year, which is absolutely nothing. So I was supposed to get a dressy piece from him, and for some reason that deal didn't go through. But let me tell you this: I am even happier to have that piece now, than a dressy piece, because to me this is the notion of less is more. It is the utter difficulty to get perfection while using simple materials, simple finish like that. This is, I mean, if you use some fancy material, you're gonna hide. It's like those really baroque, paintings where you have a lot of character in it and stuff like that. Because there is a lot of things going on, you may be just focused on the overall package of the dressing, of too many character, and somehow it's melting a lot of things, and it creates an impression of greatness, whereas there's nothing more than a lot of things going on. That's why it's really extremely hard to bring some perfection in a simple package, hence the notion of less is more, which is exactly what we have here. So first of all, let's talk about the design. He's got a tremendous eye for design. Check that. Overall, the flow of this knife is incredible. Everything is following here. I love the fact that you have here the line of the blade going. I mean, it's not, the blade will not start here, it will not start here. It's following a line here, and the overall package is very consistent. Look at that. It's balanced like nothing. It's crazy. I absolutely adore that design. And when it's open, it looks like a fixed blade. Look at that. There's some evenness, in the proportion here. The blade is adequately wide compared to the handle. It's not going to be a thin blade or a very wide blade like that. The handle is nothing crazy. The design is perfect. And check that, the flow of it. I mean, when we were younger, this is how we looked at knives. I mean, this is such a perfect design. I mean, man, this is by far my favorite of his. He's got a beautiful eye for design, but this one is by far my favorite. I absolutely adore that design. Now, the use of material is really simple, but I love this also consistent. The fact that you have on this knife a balance of colors. You have here a knife that will mostly have this orange peel finish here on the frame, but you're gonna have also some bronze, okay, on the dual thumb stud here, on the standoffs here, and you're gonna have some bronze again inside the knife because it's on phosphor bronze washers. So you're gonna have some accents of bronze all over that knife. So bronze is one color. Then I told you about the scale, of course, which are orange peel. So you're gonna have some orange peel around, and you're gonna have the rest is gonna be satin. Whereas whether it's on the hand rub here or on other every other parts here, you're gonna have the satin parts on the pivot here, on the screws, on the pin here. It's gonna be satin everywhere, and also you're gonna have some accents of satin everywhere. Check that. I love those touches. Here, the edges are on the side here, they are orange peel. But here, look at that, it's gonna be satin. And even inside the blade, he went to a very nice finish that looks, I'm sorry, you see, that's why I use glove, because I wanted to show you how beautiful it is and not leave any kind of marks, because it's absolutely flawless everywhere. And you have this mirror finish, you know, here on the edge, but also here on the other side. You see, this attention to detail is really brilliant. I absolutely adore that. Also, the spine of the blade is gonna be with this nice, almost mirror finish here. And the inside here also, you're gonna have that mirror finish. I'm sorry, I don't know if the quality is good. Yeah, you can see that. You see, and the mirror stops here, even on the lock. Then it goes back here to, I'm sorry, I don't even know if I show it to you properly. You see what I mean? Even here on the little cut that you have here, he managed to finish it with this mirror, you know, finish. And then after that, it goes back to the orange peel. But it's not even finished on the on the relief cut. Most of the time, people will forget about that. It's just a relief cut. It's an ugly part of the knife. Lee Williams will do some nice grooves there. But most of the people will do a cut and will leave it at that. Here, he managed to find a way also to give it this very nice satin finish. And it's not over. On the side of the pivot here, on the clip, sorry, you're going to see that all around here, you have a I'm sorry, again, I'm not going to redo this video in a proper lighting, but you see that it's also satin on the side of the standoff of the pivot here, but also on the edge of the clip. As you can see, on the edge of the clip, it is satin finish. So you see those attention to detail is just blowing my mind, because it doesn't look like it, but when you look at it from a shorter distance, you see how precise and the attention of that maker to those details, which is to me incredible, because it doesn't look like it. It's just like it could pass on that, but those little attention to me makes the quality of the knife. And again, it appears as simple, but it's it's really not. Then you have this simple scale, but it's not as simple as you can think, because it's very nicely contoured, as you can see here. You have a very nice flow, a very nice contouring on the handle, and the flow of this pivot. It's not, you see the junction here, okay, but you don't see any gap. Check that pivot here. You don't see any gap around it. It's perfectly fitted. And you have some concentric circles around the pivot. Maybe you can see them. So you can see that there is also a kind of work. You don't see it. You have to see it from a shorter distance like that. You see that you have those circles around the pivot, which is just a fantastic touch for me, because again, from distance you don't see it, but when you look at it closely, you will see that. And the absence of gap around here, absolutely I love that. The same on the other side. It's more basic here, but you can tell there is absolutely no gap whatsoever. Then you have the clip with a hidden hardware, and something that I really, really like. Not a lot of people do that. It's a kind of big disc like that, that has a hidden hardware. It's screwed from the inside, and I absolutely adore that. You're gonna have either some screws or some standoffs, but not a lot of people will do a big disc like that, something like a round like that. It's absolutely beautiful. We're gonna go again. This is like the little touches I wanted to entertain you on that knife. We're gonna go to the EDC part of the knife, which is, I mean, that's a perfect EDC. But for now, I wanted to discuss about those little touches. It continues with the thumb studs. Check that. It looks like a 3-part standoffs thumb stud. Sorry. With a kind of steps like that, like 3 steps. Here it's you have some grooves there, and another step and another step. It looks check that in bronze like that. How beautiful is that? I love the dual thumb studs, and check the beauty of that knife. How balanced it is from this side. How beautiful it is when it's closed. Check the flow of that knife when it's closed. It's such a beautiful, I love this view. Very few knives give me that when I look at them like that. Check the centering, it goes perfectly well in the center of the standoff here. Absolutely gorgeous. And now let's talk about that blade. The blade is, oh man, 11 minutes, I'm crazy. I have to go way faster than that. The blade here is the main part of the cake. He does, I don't know if you see it here, but the hand rub, oh man, you see it here. It's a curved hand rub. You can, oh man, I'm look at that. You see, so it follows the line and the flow of the blade on the main bevel here. Here on the flat, it follows the flat too. So here it follows the curves. And here it's almost mirror. It's very difficult to show you the line because it's even rubbed in a way that it's almost mirror on the swedge. But if you look at it closely, maybe I can show it to you, the line is following this curve too. So you have 3 directions of the lines that are absolutely mesmerizing. The work involved in it is crazy. Now check this grind. Dramatic hollow grind on the main bevel. Dramatic hollow grind on the swedge. And the sexiness of that blade is something that I don't even have to describe. You just have to look at it. How beautiful it is. It's just insane. The jimping here is very nice. Another touch I wanted to discuss, and it's also a part of the build, is that here you have a stop pin, okay? The stop pin, you can see most of the time people will do a screw because it's going to be more sturdy. It's going to be sturdier to screw it. Other will put the stop pin inside and like press it like that. But this is not going to be really sturdy and it can move. He puts it from side to side, okay? And then I'm not even sure that I will be able to show you that. He cuts it here and is finishing it in a way. Oh yeah, you can see the circle here of the stop pin. Okay, so this is very sturdy and you don't even see here the cut of the stop pin. You really, even if I want to show it to you, but it's here, believe. Oh, here you can tell. It's here, okay? This is also something that I appreciate, and it does the same for this lanyard holder, I was going to say. Also, it's pinned inside, so it's very, very sturdy. Oh man, I'm heading to the 15 minutes. I'm crazy. I really have so many things to say. The action is insane. Check that. It's a flicker. It fires like a rocket, and you can use all fingers to deploy it. I don't know with the gloves. Yeah, if I'm gonna get it. It fires like a rocket. Check this engagement. It's perfect. It doesn't budge at all. It's smooth as it can come with the phosphor bronze washer. Check the centering. Here the detent. The click is crazy. The action is splendid. You check how perfect it is in hand. It's a perfect EDC. All the blade length here is dedicated for the cutting task. It cuts like nothing. Check here. Oh, I mean, there is no nonsense here. The blade stops here and ends and starts here. So you have all this length dedicated for the cutting task. Look at that. It's a perfect flow for cutting. It's a slicer. It's a thruster. I have nothing but good things to say about that knife, and I just can only hope that I will be able to get maybe a dressier piece. But should I decide to keep only one, this would be this one, because this is blowing my mind. And I hope that I was able to share that passion and those observations with you, my friends. Bye bye. It was a pleasure, and see you very soon.